Hi everybody, Scott here from the Introvert Power channel. In this video I'm going to talk about the INFJ door slam and hopefully give an explanation or an insight into what might be happening. For the INFJ, there's a desire to go as deep as possible in a relationship. The connection in a relationship is the most important thing. And I'm going to try and use an illustration of like a cable, a very delicate, complicated cable that sort of connects two people together. And for the INFJ, that is kind of where they focus. Introvertedly, they are always aware of that connection. They'll always pick up when something's gone wrong, something's not right, and want to fix it, want to repair it, want to do something about it. One of the interesting things is that for the INFJ, that connection, that cable that connects the two people together is reality. And I think in some respects there could be like almost an unconscious assumption that the other person is as aware of and interested in that connection. While they might be as interested in the relationship, they may not see it the same way as the INFJ, putting their attention in different areas, different focuses, if you like, in relationship. And so I think the INFJ can get tripped up in thinking that the way that they see it is the way the other person should see it. And I think that can lead to some complications. So for the INFJ, there's harmony is right up there as a core need, a core value. And so whenever there's a frayed edge to that cable, a frayed edge to that connection, for the INFJ, they experience that internally as a lack of connection, a lack of harmony, and the INFJ will most likely attempt to try to repair that connection with the other person. Now, where I think it can go a little pear-shaped is where the other person, because the other person might not see the relationship the way the INFJ sees the relationship, will not understand what is being said or not see the frayed edge of the cable, and may dismiss it, might just not get it. And of course the INFJ will most likely pick up that they don't get it. I think what an INFJ will most likely do in that situation is make allowances or make adjustments within themselves to accommodate that frayed piece of the relationship in order to try to maintain harmony or regain harmony and keep the relationship connected. I think it's worth noting that comes at a great cost for the INFJ, both in trying to repair the connection, because INFJs generally don't like confrontation at all, and so there is a certain level of risk, at least in the world of the INFJ, at trying to repair the connection, because it could lead to more frayed edges and more disharmony. So there's often that tension for the INFJ, but it's usually that desire to repair the connection that will win out in those situations, because of the value that INFJs place on relationship, will attempt to try to repair. So for a relationship where there's lots of frayed edges of that relationship cable, there just seems to be a lack of harmony, a lack of understanding, might just be an unhealthy relationship. Generally I think an INFJ is going to try to repair. If it can't be repaired, we'll make an adjustment and an allowance for that situation. But it's important to acknowledge, though, that in the INFJ's world, the cable is not repaired. They're just learning to live with the connection frayed somewhat. For the INFJ, the meaning of the relationship is the most important thing. That relationship cable is just laced with huge amount of meaning and feeling. So if a relationship's not going too well, while the connection is and the cable is fraying on the edges, and it's starting to get damaged, the meaning associated with the relationship begins to be compromised. For the INFJ, the external world has little to do with that meaning and that connection. It's all internal, it's all relational, and because the INFJ is introverted, a lot of it is unseen. It's like that huge inner world for the INFJ, and that relational world that goes on inside the INFJ is not often able to be seen by the partner, by the other person. And so for the INFJ, they can have a totally different reality and understanding of the relationship that the other person has. So there could be situations where the INFJ, if they have tried to repair the cable and the connection, and as time's gone by it just hasn't worked out, the INFJ is probably too hurt to continue to try to repair it. And so there could be cases where the INFJ is very, very unsatisfied in a relationship, and the other person is possibly unaware, at least unaware of the depth and the seriousness of that dissatisfaction. So for the INFJ, they're going to generally try to salvage the relationship for as long as they possibly can. So as long as that cable is still somehow connected to that other person, they will hang in there. They will they're prepared, and I don't think it's probably not the right way to say it, but they tend to put up with a deep level of dissatisfaction in a relationship in order to try to salvage that relationship, to maintain that cable. And maybe it's because of the idealism aspect of the INFJ. Even if a cable, this thick has just got one strand there, the INFJ will hang into that relationship, believing that that cable can be completely and totally and utterly restored. Totally believes in the possibility of that cable being utterly repaired, and that the relationship has the possibility or the potential to be the best possible relationship ever. For the INFJ, that internal world is that sort of contradiction of to the level that the cable is disintegrated, is to the level of dissatisfaction in the INFJ, yet there still exists that ideal picture of the relationship. That picture never really diminishes, it stays there until that final strand is broken. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back sort of thing. And that could take on any number of different scenarios, but for the INFJ, there's like this moment where that little remaining piece of meaning is being broken. And the reality for the INFJ is that there is no longer a relationship. The relationship no longer exists. There isn't anything to salvage anymore. It's gone. Hence the door slam. And it's possible that for the other person or for other people around the INFJ, that could appear very cold and very harsh. But I think that's often what's going on in the INFJ, is that there is literally nothing to salvage, so there's nothing left. And often there's nothing left in the INFJ to keep going. Hence the door, if you like, is slammed. However, it's most likely the case that the INFJ feels as though the door has been slammed on them, and that they're simply responding to that door slam from the other person. It's kind of like if a limb is partly severed, it's possible to save the limb, or if it's even just got a little piece sort of hanging off the end, it's still salvageable, but it's almost like once that limb is completely severed, it can no longer be reattached. It's like it's gone. It's lost. So hopefully that explains some aspects anyway of what might be going on for an INFJ, both in relationship and also when the relationship appears to have ended. So if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching to the end. I welcome some comments and feedback in regards to the video, and I appreciate it if you like the video, and thanks for watching.